We are expected to see $4 billion worth of demand for these Bitcoin spot ETF products that have launched today. But the only problem is there's only $100 billion worth of Bitcoin sitting on exchanges. This would mean that if we see $4 billion worth of demand every single day for the next month, there's no Bitcoin left on exchanges. So today we're going to be discussing that, as well as all of the chaos happening in the markets today with the ETF launch. Bitcoin briefly popped its head above $49,000. Now it's been slapped back down to 46. We're going to be discussing all of that and more, and everything you guys want me to cover today. But I want to start with this chart right here. I want to share my screen. I want to show you the chart of the Bitcoin sitting on exchanges today. There is only 2 million Bitcoin sitting on exchanges. And when you do the math and you assume that there is, the Bitcoin price is $50,000, for example, that means there is only $100 billion worth of Bitcoin sitting on exchanges today. And you know what's crazy? You know what's super mega bullish? We have banks out there, and these aren't just little banks, okay? We're talking about Standard Chartered Bank, which is an $800 billion giant. They expect that we're going to see between $50 and $100 billion of inflow into spot Bitcoin ETFs in 2024. So this would theoretically buy all of the Bitcoin sitting on exchanges today, okay? So you can guess I am slightly bullish, and I think Dylan's on the money here. Bitcoin is the Bitcoin ETF is a Trojan horse for accelerationism. Okay, that is exactly what the Bitcoin ETFs are going to do. They're only going to accelerate the trend of supply suffocation that we've seen over the past, 4 years since Bitcoin began leaving exchanges. And the more of this supply suffocation we see, the more we see new billionaires pop their hand up and say, hey, look, I'm buying a shit ton of Bitcoin. I want to actually show you guys this video, okay? So I'm going to try to share my screen again because I want to play this really important video of Cathie Wood, okay? I think it's really interesting to listen to because this lady has a net worth of around $1 billion, okay? So she has a whole lot of money, okay? And she just came out today and she said, look, now that these Bitcoin ETFs have been approved, I actually have 25% of my net worth in Bitcoin. So we're going to run the numbers on what happens if other billionaires do this. But I want to first play this video of Cathie Wood for you guys. So I'm going to turn it on.
Net worth, all of it is.
Can you give us an idea how much your net worth or how much Bitcoin or crypto linked you own?
Yeah, of my financial net worth, all of it is pretty much all of it is in innovation. Let's put it that way. It's just my degree of confidence in the depth of our research gives me the courage, people might say, to be more aggressive in this realm, either in our kind of funds and private funds, or crypto, primarily Bitcoin. And I would say this is going to be a very rough guess because
sure, no problem.
I don't really. Yeah, my guess is that excluding ARK, the company, and excluding real estate, that of the financial net worth, it's at least 25%.
Okay, Cathie Wood, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate.
Well, did you guys hear that? At least 25% of her capital is in Bitcoin, okay? What happens if we have another, 11 billionaires who want to do the same thing with Bitcoin? All of a sudden, that exchange balance that I showed you guys begins to get a little bit low, okay? So I'm going to try once again to share my screen. I want to go through a chart because I think it's really interesting. We have Cathie Wood. We obviously have people like Ricardo Salinas, Mexico's second richest man, who also has more than 50% of his net worth in Bitcoin. We got the Giga Chad, Michael Saylor, who has 100% of his net worth in Bitcoin. He's even leveraged. He's probably got more than 100% of his net worth in Bitcoin, with nearly $10 billion worth of Bitcoin held by MicroStrategy. What happens if another 11 of these guys want to do what Michael Saylor has done? All of a sudden, there is no Bitcoin sitting on exchanges, okay? We got 2 million Bitcoin. if 11 people want to accumulate 190,000 Bitcoin like MicroStrategy has, all of a sudden you're left with no Bitcoin sitting on exchanges. And we're not even talking about these ETF products. We're only talking about individuals like Cathie Wood, Bill Miller, Ricardo Salinas, who are beginning to wake up to what Bitcoin is. Okay, here we got MicroStrategy on the list. 189,000 coins worth $9 billion. I saw a tweet today. They're actually in profit, $3 billion. Okay. How about that for a trade by MicroStrategy? Well, it's not really a trade. Let's call it a conversion. MicroStrategy is just simply upgrading his treasury. But let's look at the other private companies that own Bitcoin. Mt. Gox, 200,000 coins apparently. But we do have other companies like Block One, Tether Holdings, 55,000 Bitcoin. That's fascinating. I wonder if that's the official Tether treasury. Are they sitting on $2 billion worth of Bitcoin? I'm going to look into that for you guys. Maybe dive into that in a future video, because Tether is a really interesting rabbit hole that maybe we discuss another day. But I want to show you guys this one here, Grayscale, 643,000 Bitcoin. And now Grayscale is not alone. They're not the only multi-billion, multi-trillion dollar company who is seemingly getting into the Bitcoin space. This is Franklin Templeton. This is their official Twitter account. They have adopted laser eyes. And what's really interesting about this is I believe the CEO was on the news 2 months ago, and he was calling Bitcoin a distraction. And now that they've got their ETF approved, they've adopted the Bitcoin laser eyes. So you guys tell me, is Franklin Templeton just trying to, adopt a cheap trick? Trying to, get some easy followers on Twitter, trying to get a little bit of extra AUM, a little bit more assets under management. I don't know. You guys tell me. Have they actually flipped bullish on Bitcoin? Has the CEO now done the work on Bitcoin and believes it's more than a, quote unquote distraction like he called it? I don't know. I'll leave that one up to you guys. Something else that I think is a distraction is these people saying that Bitcoin's volatility is now going to decrease now that Wall Street is here. I tweeted this out this morning. I think it's one of the most common misconceptions. To think that Bitcoin is going to become less volatile when it's only adopted by less than 0.2% of the world is ludicrous. Don't expect to see any decrease in Bitcoin's volatility until one coin buys you a mansion in Malibu, California. So I seriously believe that you're not going to see a decrease in Bitcoin's volatility until it's worth, $5 million a coin. Okay, that's where I think Bitcoin's volatility is going to begin to decrease. I think until there, super cycle and it's up only, baby. I think volatility is only going to increase. We got Yellow in the chat. Yeah, I love Yellow's TA. I believe he called the bottom to the day. So shout out to Yellow. Don't ever stop believing. Who else we got? I wanted to also show you this commercial from BlackRock. BlackRock is officially going balls deep in Bitcoin, and you love to see it. And they are now spending millions of dollars doing our job for us. They are doing the marketing for us. So I'm going to try to find a video that they shared yesterday. Franklin Templeton. Well, there you go. Maybe it's this one here. Let me know if the audio works or not, guys. But
for the cryptocurrency.
This is a little bit of marketing done by BlackRock.
Digital asset adoption has significantly accelerated over the past decade, with profound implications for the future of finance. Bitcoin is the original cryptocurrency to gain global adoption and has continued to maintain its dominance despite thousands of others coming into existence. You might have noticed Bitcoin make its way into our everyday lives, from Bitcoin ATMs to various merchants accepting Bitcoin as payment, further driving interest in what the future holds for the cryptocurrency. Investors have taken notice, as institutions and individual investors alike have been adopting Bitcoin into their investment portfolios, with some viewing it as a potential store of value and others as a potential game changer in how money moves around the world. But for many investors, holding Bitcoin directly can be complex. That's why we launched IBIT, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, an ETF that provides investors convenient exposure to Bitcoin. Here are 3 things to know about IBIT. Access.
Okay, I've had enough of that propaganda. I'm turning off BlackRock because they said holding Bitcoin can be complex. Okay, don't listen to this. I reckon that is straight propaganda. That's BS. They're trying to promote themselves as a big honeypot. Okay, self-custodying Bitcoin is easy. Okay, it really is. Write down 12 words on a piece of paper. Don't tell anyone. put that, 12 words in steel once you've got a significant amount of Bitcoin. That's as simple as self-custody is. These people at BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck, they're going to try to convince you that taking self-custody is hard so that you send all of your money into their Bitcoin ETFs. It really is as simple as that. I think El Sanchez in the chat puts it simply: Lightning markets and chill. Lightning network and chill, I would certainly agree with that. I would also agree with buy Bitcoin, fuck the central banks. I probably shouldn't say that on a live stream. But he says, Christ, I love Bitcoin, but this shitty ad, he's putting me off it. Good job, BlackRock. Yeah, good job, BlackRock. Accelerate. I do believe that this is actually the beginning of Bitcoin accelerationism. Okay, I think the Bitcoin BlackRock ETF for Bitcoin, it's good for Bitcoin. Okay, I think it is only going to accelerate the trend of coins leaving exchanges. Again, I love this chart. This is the only chart you need to know. It's good to see Whale investing back in the chat, regular viewer. Great to see you, brother. Hope you're having a good day. I want to share my screen. This is the only chart you need to look at. Throw all of your TA in the garbage bin. Means absolutely nothing. The only chart you need is this one right here. Coins on exchanges. Okay, we are watching a supply suffocation, and BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is only going to accelerate this trend. Okay, like we said, if we do see that $100 billion of demand that Standard Chartered is predicting, we're going to see zero Bitcoin on exchanges in a year. What is that going to do to the price of Bitcoin? Speaking of the price of Bitcoin, look what happened when the ETF launched. Bitcoin pumped all the way up to $49,000. All of the bulls, like myself, were going crazy on Twitter. Slapped back down to $45,000. Okay. Again, nobody knows where the price of Bitcoin is going to go in the short term. Please do not leverage trade. Do not sell your Bitcoin to BlackRock. That is what they want you to do. They want you to sell the Bitcoin to them. Don't do it. Don't even think about it. We have VanEck. Let's see if the VanEck actually has a better Bitcoin ad, because I think they might. So I want to actually check this out and play this for anyone who missed it. We got Yo Bitcoin. We got John in the chat. Good to see you, brother. Now let's once again try to get the boomer here to figure out how to work these live streams. I'm going to share my screen because I thought it was a pretty interesting ad that I definitely want everyone here to see, because the marketing departments are getting good at doing our job. They're pumping Bitcoin. This is VanEck, multi-trillion-dollar asset manager. Here's what they think about Bitcoin.
The world holds on to old ways until it can't. When Bitcoin was born, it broke that endless cycle. It's not a defiance of finance. Bitcoin may help guard against the government devaluing your money. Finally, you can buy and hold Bitcoin in an ETF with the VanEck Bitcoin Trust, HODL. Search the ticker HODL in your stock trading app today.
You will notice a common theme amongst these Bitcoin ETF ads. They always like to sprinkle a little bit of truth in the ETF. Okay, they said that Bitcoin can help protect you from government currency debasement. And that is true, okay? But the solution is not to buy their Bitcoin ETF. Did you hear the lie in what they said? You can buy Bitcoin and hold it in an ETF. No, you can't. You can't hold the Bitcoin. If you don't have access to the private keys, the Bitcoin ETF issuer holds your Bitcoin and they're going to rug pull you one day. It is as simple as that. I've heard lots of people say, oh, these ETFs are very regulated. We can trust them far more than, the FTXs of the world who were supposed to have 80,000 Bitcoin on theof balance sheet in 2022. But when they got rug pulled and their treasury got exposed, they had zero. They naked shorted over $1 billion worth of Bitcoin that was supposed to hold 80,000 Bitcoin. They held zero. Okay. Some people say, trust the ETFs. They're held to a higher standard than the FTXs of the world. I am not so sure. Okay. It's simple as that. Buy the banks, F the central banks, wow, that ad is much better. I tend to agree. The girlfriend's in the live chat. Bitcoin ETF is not real Bitcoin. That's right, honey. Not real Bitcoin. She's learning. She always reminds me of a tipsy aunt. Who's the tipsy aunt? Okay, so we got Whale Invest in the chat. This is a really interesting question I want to hit on. I don't believe we will see substantial selling or selling volume until 200,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so again, this is really interesting because I love to go back and look at the charts from 2021. Okay, we all know what happened in that bull run. We know that the supply suffocation began in March of 2020, and everybody who says, Luke, your thesis for a super cycle and supply suffocation is silly because people are going to sell their Bitcoin. Well, I don't think so. Check this out. I'm going to share my screen once again. I'm going to show you this chart. We can see what happened to the amount of coins on exchanges in 2021. Bitcoin rallied from 4,000 to 65,000 in 12 months. It went absolutely crazy. How many coins were sent to the exchanges? This much. I've zoomed up on it so you guys can see it. Less than 150,000 Bitcoin were sent to exchanges, and Bitcoin rallied from 4K to 65. Okay, I just don't think that's the next bull market. We're going to see this massive increase in supply on exchange. Have a look at what happened in 2017. So the price of Bitcoin ran from 600 to 20,000. And then in the yellow line here, what happened to coins on exchanges? It grew enormously. Okay, we saw a lot of Bitcoin added to the exchange. I believe is around 500,000 Bitcoin in that bull run. I'm going to have to go back and check the numbers. I might bring the receipts for you guys in the next live stream, but I really don't think that a whole lot of selling pressure is going to happen. I think whale investing is on the money there. Great comment. Thank you for triggering that tangent. Let's see if I can find any more tangents in the live stream. The HODL and the BURR tickers are nothing short of brilliant. I 100% agree. And you know what else that I think is really brilliant about these tickers is the fact that they're coming in at a cheap price. So this is going to remove unit bias in Bitcoin, okay? So I'm going to share my screen again. I want to show you guys the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF ticker. So firstly, I want you to appreciate the candle. This is the daily candle. It opened at $26, shot all the way up to $30, and now it's back down at 26. To show you a little bit of the volatility, you might stick it on a 30-minute chart, but you can see how crazy that chart is. Wild price action, but I think the most interesting thing is how cheap it is. It's $30. So all of a sudden, what does that do for Bitcoin's unit bias? Do the little people now actually believe that they're going to, be able to quote unquote own some Bitcoin by buying these cheap Bitcoin ETF tickers? I believe so. And I believe the fact that unit bias is going to be removed, this bull market, is at the margin going to increase the amount of demand for Bitcoin, okay? Instead of, hundreds of billions of dollars flowing into altcoins, I believe we're going to see a little bit of extra capital that normally goes into altcoins actually go into Bitcoin. And this is all because I think we might begin to remove unit bias this cycle. So if you want to learn a little bit more about why I believe this, the Bitcoin super cycle is going to be triggered by this removal of unit bias, you will want to check out the video we did yesterday because I showed you the 5 bullish catalysts that I believe could trigger a 2025 Bitcoin super cycle. The unit bias removal was only one of those catalysts. So once this live stream ends, there'll be a link to that video right about there on screen. And with all that said, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I will see you all in a live stream tomorrow. Hope you have a great day and don't sell your